both. I do want to do this here, of course. There are a lot of churches who have gone to this whole issue of live streaming their services because they can't meet and gather. There were some people, though, who still had services on Sunday, frankly, putting their congregations at risk. E. Dewey Smith, a pastor out of Atlanta, posted a video explaining why his church chose not to have service. And he was real frank and honest as to why some pastors did have service. I want you to watch this.
I don't want to get into no fights with pastors, but let me say this. Our mortgage here at our church is $100,000 a month. Our light bill here at our church is $40,000 a month. We have 50 employees. We got a counseling center. We have a human trafficking program that we sponsor. We're building a church in Africa. When we don't have church, that threatens our operation. We're like other. So for us, when we made a decision to close our church, public worship services, that was not a fear. That was because we had regard, and for me, I love my members, and they want to put them in a position where they be sick. The faith for me was not in having church. The faith for me was saying, you know what, we're gonna prioritize people's safety and trust that God's gonna help the people to meet our needs financially. That was faith. Just because you had church does not mean you got faith. Some of you guys had church because you needed that offering. And you put people in jeopardy. Some of you did that. Now, I'm not speaking fair about it, but for us, we decided to not have worship because we didn't want to risk our susceptible demographic, those who are over 60, because all the scientists, all the medicine people are telling us, health, CDC, WHO, all the organizations are saying this thing is pandemic. So for us to have a global pandemic and risk our membership, we felt that we want to love our members enough to let them stay safe, to follow the doctor's recommendation, and then trust that God's going to meet the needs. And I'm just believing and trusting God that we put people first. So just because somebody had church, sometimes people use those scriptures, twist them because they need the offering.
Roland, I was an usher at Canaan Avenue Missionary Baptist Church as a young man, a teenager. And every time we passed the collection plate, it was the same verse, Malachi. Will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. Wherein do you say ye have robbed me? In thy tithes and offerings. That brother right there gave a word. That's a word, brother. And you know what? Mitch McConnell, you clown. Donald Trump and all you rest of you people trying to figure out how to steal, as you heard Reese just say, with both hands trying to figure out a way to steal. That brother right there just showed you what the African in this criminal enterprise that you call the United States of America has kept from the time we came here, before we came here and got on the boats with it and brought here and have remained with it. Did you hear what he said? He said, I want to make sure my faith is in my people and that God will help us provide. And guess what? Those people will be the ones that come out their pocket and send that money in by any means necessary while you're trying to figure out how to steal with both hands. You better go read the Bible, Old and New Testaments, and go back to that Old Testament when you start dealing with Sodom and Gomorrah and figure out, as the Rastas know, what happens when Babylon fall. You don't have no faith in nothing but money. Forget in God we trust on your dollar bill. But let's be clear. What that brother just said, that is character. That's hard to replace, brother. That was very powerful.
All right, folks, that's got Roland Martin, Unfiltered.